Going on, folks? Hope everybody's weekend was as good as mine. Had a glorious fourth. We didn't do much. We just kind of chilled. All of our partying buddies are no longer here since, military families, everybody moves. Uh, so we just kicked it at the house. I think anybody that saw my Facebook post saw the humongous steaks that I made. They actually turned out really good. And of course, we had a fire pit and made some s'mores. No real fireworks. Did a couple poppers in the front yard. We can't do much here where we're at. Plus, the sun's out till like midnight. Um, so you got to stay up like until 1 o'clock just to get darkness for fireworks. But anyway, it's not what I'm here to talk about today. I want to talk a little bit about what it is that I do, what coaching is. A lot of folks may not actually know what that entails. And I've given a couple presentations in a couple of the groups that I'm in regarding what it is that I do as a coach and how I got my start. Some of you have already heard how I got my start, so I won't bore you with all the details. But long story short, it was an accident. I was looking to do something completely different and fell in love with the coaching aspect of things. And originally, I was a completely different kind of coach. I was more of an executive coach looking to do leadership development because I enjoyed the topic of leadership and what it meant to be in charge of the team. But I also realized after a while that leadership is all fine and dandy, and you can be a great leader, but everything else actually affects it as well. So as I started talking to people, and they would bring up situations in their life as opposed to in their leadership style. So I'd hear all sorts of stuff from stuff at home, stuff in the past, and then it dawned on me that it's a whole person that you really need to look at when it comes to a leader, because leaders aren't perfect, and they're not supposed to be. But there's all sorts of underlying reasons why a person's leadership may be ineffective. So that's how I became the coach that I am today, a transformational coach. And most of the coaching that I do lately revolves around two things. It's knowing your why and having a vision. And with anything that you do in life, you have to know where you want to be. And for the folks that I work with, every time we start, it always ends up around that. Well, why are you trying to do or change whatever it is you're trying to do or change? And then they develop that. They figure it out. We work it through. And there's, okay, so what is the ultimate end result? Where are you trying to be as a result of everything we're working for? And that's where the vision comes in. So it's very interesting how, regardless of what people are working on, it usually comes down to two things: your why and your vision. And it's been holding pretty true. Matter of fact, I had a friend of mine message me the other day. Brilliant man. He's a different kind of coach, but he's very smart. He should tell stories. The way he speaks and the way he captivates an audience is amazing. And he's like, you mentioned that I should tell a story, and he said, if you have any idea how I would start or develop that. And I told him, start with the end in mind. What are you trying to convey? What is the message you're trying to get across? How are you trying to make people feel after they read and hear your message? Again, it all comes down to where you're trying to go. What's your vision, and why are you trying to do it? So I thought that's an important thing to discuss. Why I'm here and what I do. Also, I want to tell you some of the benefits of coaching. And these aren't all the benefits. These are just some that I actually found online that I found were actually the most appropriate. I'm not taking credit for all this. I research. You can find everything online, but if you're watching me right now, then cool. You're going to learn a little bit something hopefully you didn't know. The first thing you're going to get is accountability. Now with a coach is someone who isn't there to tell you what to do, but they are there to ask you if you did what you said you were going to do. So most of the time, like when I work with folks, they typically have a homework assignment, something they have to do between then and our next meeting, whatever it may be. And if you come to the next meeting unprepared, well, we'll work on it again, right? So I'm going to hold you accountable. and make sure you're keeping your word to yourself. And that's it. Either way, I'm getting paid. All right. It's not about what I'm getting paid. It's about what you're doing. Okay. Um, if you don't decide to do the work, I can't do that for you. So I'm going to tell you, well, this is hurting you, not me. If you're still willing to come see me every week, I'm still going to get paid. But at the end of the day, this is about your results, not mine. All right, so the next is the positive programming. Now, depending on who you surround yourself with, hopefully you're surrounding yourself with folks that have your best interest in mind. Folks that will, encourage you and believe in what you're trying to do. And of course tell you when, hey, it's maybe not something that um, you should do. Because there are certain things you shouldn't do. But my job is to make sure that you know you're capable. To let you know that, all right, this is something you can definitely do. It's a positive outlook on things as opposed to a negative. I'm not going to tell you what you need to hear or what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, and that's the most important thing. But I'm going to keep it positive. If you're trying to be lofty, that's perfectly fine. I want you to have lofty goals. I want you to shoot for like the moon, but I'm also going to keep it realistic. All right, realistically, if you're trying to make $1 million in a month, and you don't have any way, there's no way we can do that. I'm going to tell you that. All right. So, but I am going to keep it positive. May not make 1 million, but we're going to make something, and we're going to have a plan to do it. I'm also going to bring a different perspective because I've done things, I've seen things, I've worked with individuals who have done and seen things as well. Um, one of the perspectives I bring also is when people are a little bit critical of themselves when they don't need to be. I've worked with a few folks like that, where when they describe an action or something that they have done in the past or feel, and they describe it in the most heinous way possible. Like you would think they're the most horrible person to ever sit down, with. And then I'm like, okay, well, explain in a little bit more detail exactly what happened. And as they do, and I ask them, like, do you think you may be a little bit too hard on yourself with that? Um, and this is why I say that, and I explain it to them. So the different perspective actually helps. When folks see something that is impossible, it's most likely I'm going to see, no, it's not impossible. Have you thought about it in this way? That's when that different perspective comes into play. And of course, my favorite is we come up with an action plan because we can do all this stuff and it's all, fine and dandy. We can figure out what your why is. We can develop your vision. We can even list down all the steps that you need to take. However, if we don't have a way of getting it implemented, there's no point in doing it. All right, it's kind of like going to school and never doing anything with the degree. Um, Knowledge is only good if you put it to use. So we're going to develop a plan. I'm going to sit down and we're going to look at every step that you listed, that you think you needed to do, that you felt was important, and we're going to put them in order. Prioritize. All right, what's first? When are we going to start? All right, pick a day. And then we're going to break it down even, more than that. So having an action plan and being able to measure, every step is very important, and that's what I help do. And last but not least, I have a ton of valuable resources, and not just in my head. If you are working with a coach and they don't have other coaches or coaches themselves, you're probably not working with the right coach. I've told folks on this platform several times that I work with a group of coaches, and none of them are the same. I have all sorts of types of different coaches. I've also have different consultants that I work with. Now, I'm not paying these folks. We are working together. We help each other. They're like colleagues, if you will, the mastermind. Because I surround myself with folks that are smarter than me, and I do it for a reason. Because I want to be able to help my clients. Now, if you're a coach, if you have a coach that you hired and they don't have that, you might want to ask some questions. Any coach who's worth a damn is going to have their own set of coaches, yes, plural, and consultants and their mastermind that they work with on a regular basis. So when you tap into this brain, you get to tap into their brain as well. Because if I don't know the answer, or if I'm like, man, I've never dealt with this, guess what? I know somebody who has. And if for some reason we can't work together, or if I can't work with you, then I will refer you to them. Because the bottom line is the, the sole focus of all this is the client. Yeah, it's going to be better for me if I can help you. It's going to be great for my own worth and my own self-esteem and all that other good stuff. But at the end of the day, when you come to me with a problem, if I can't help you with that problem, it is my job to, one, tell you I can't help you with that problem, and two, I feel it's my job to refer you to somebody who can, because that's what coaching is about. It's putting your ego aside and helping the person when they come to you. All right. So that is what coaching is. That's what I do in a nutshell. And I don't have a specific type of person. I do like working with individuals who are trying to create big things. They have lofty goals, and they will stop at nothing to accomplish them. Sometimes you have those folks that they do have a lot of goals, and they're huge, humongous goals, and they're trying to get it done. But they run into a couple roadblocks. Well, that's where I come in. I just help them with that. All right, but they got to be willing to do the work. And as long as you're willing to do the work, you can accomplish anything, regardless of your past, of where you've been. All right. So this was gonna be a fairly short one, but it ended up being a little bit longer than I expected. But I wanted to give everybody a little bit of what I do and what you can expect if you're looking for a coach and you're not sure what you're going to gain from it. If you have questions, by all means, let me know. And if it's not about me directly, or if you're looking for a specific kind of coach around something else, I probably know them. So give me a holler, and I'll see if I can connect you with the right person. All right, with that, I'll leave you with this.